In this video we have a picture of different kinds of domestic cows and domestic animals like cows and things. So the first one is the bull, and here we see him there. He's got horns, right? This is a male cow. It's a bull and a cow. Here's a cow. So a bull and a cow. You can see the cow's got an udder that the milk comes from, and a calf. There's a baby cow. This is called a calf, C-A-L-F. And these are all covered with hair, so they're hairy animals. Here's a ram, which is a male sheep, and he's got curly horns, and a wether. A wether is a sheep, a male sheep that can't have children anymore. And an ewe. An ewe is a female sheep. That's here. An ewe. And a lamb. A tiny lamb down here, number 6. These all have wool. So a ram and an ewe and a lamb all have got wool. This is a he-goat, which is a male goat, a he-goat. And we have a she-goat down here. So the male goat is bigger, the she-goat. You can see they've got different kinds of horns. Their horns are very different. And you have a kid goat, yeah, little baby one, kid goat. These have got shaggy hair. Shaggy means long, rough hair that's untidy. And also they have little beards. There's the beard here, and here's another beard here. The hog, which is here, see, is basically a very big pig, a hog. And a sow, which is the female. And you have piglets here. They've got bristles, which are like very hard, rough hairs. They don't have any horns, but they do have cloven hooves. They've got split hooves on their feet, just like all the others in this picture. But these ones here, of course, are kosher, and these ones here in the dark shadow are not. In this picture we have beasts of burden. These are animals that are used for carrying loads around, especially in the days before there were motor cars. So number 1 here in the corner is an ass. An ass. And here, number 2, is a mule. So an ass is much smaller. It's like a small donkey. A mule is a cross between an ass and a horse. And these carry burdens. Here you see the mule is loaded up with lots of stuff on its back. A horse, there he is, number 3. There's a beautiful horse, which has got a mane. Here's the mane on the back of the horse. The horse carries people. A camel, here's a camel with 1 hump. It's a dromedary. It's got 1 hump on its back. Carries a merchant with his merchandise through the desert. Here, number 6 is an elephant. This is an Indian elephant in this picture. And an elephant carries its food towards itself with its trunk. It's got 2 very big teeth at the front, which we call tusks. And these stick out, and it's able to carry a large number of people on its back. In this picture we have a number of wild animals. Number 1 is a buffalo, which is a very, very big type of wild cow. And here we have another type of wild cow as well, called a buff. And these are wild bulls. And then we have an elk. An elk is number 2. Can you find him? There he is. There's an elk. And he's got, he's bigger than a horse, much bigger, and he's got very knotty horns here called antlers. Can you see them here on his head? Then you have a hart, and a hart is a kind of deer which runs very fast. We have a stonebuck, which has got very, very big horns. And here he is, climbing up the mountain with his big horns. We have wild goats. And also, we have a little goat here, right, which is called a little wild goat, a rock goat, which lives up in the very top of mountains. Here's a unicorn, which is a mythical beast, doesn't really exist. It's only got one horn in the middle of its head. It looks like a horse, doesn't really exist. It's only found in stories. We have a boar here, number 9, which is a kind of wild pig. It's very dangerous, and it's got tusks here. You can see them sticking up from its mouth, and these are very, very dangerous because it uses its tusks to gore people with. To gore them means to push its tusks into them and make holes in their bodies. A hare, here's a little hare, it's a kind of rabbit, runs away. It's very scared of everything and runs away all the time. And a bunny rabbit, here's a bunny rabbit, or a rabbit. It digs holes in the ground. Here's a hole, a rabbit hole. And also we have a mole. There you can see the mole. He doesn't come above the ground very often. He's under in this picture, actually, I think he's supposed to be under the ground. And the mole lives underground, and he makes little molehills, which you sometimes see on the top of the ground. And I think I didn't mention the hart. Here's the hart, this animal here, which is a male deer, right? It's got very big antlers. So we have an elk and we have a hart. And the roe deer here. So we have different kinds of deer: a hart, a roe deer, an elk, a unicorn, right? And then we have a buffalo here, and we have a wild ox here. In this picture we have wild beasts. Wild beasts. Number 1, right, is a lion. Now wild beasts have got very sharp claws on the ends of what we call, they haven't got hands, they've got paws and sharp claws and sharp teeth, and they are carnivores. They eat meat from other animals. The lion, here he is, number 1. He is the king of the beasts in stories, and he's got a mane. Here's the mane of the lion around his head. And we have a lioness as well. Here she is. She doesn't have a mane. A spotted panther. A spotted panther looks like a lioness, but it's got spots. So it's very similar to a lioness, but it's got spots on it. So number 2, if it didn't have the spots, it's a lioness. With the spots, it's a panther. And we have a tiger. Here he is, number 3. The tiger's got stripes. You see the stripes on the tiger? And tiger is a very cruel animal, very wild. We've got a bear here, and the bear's got shaggy hair, very long shaggy hair. We've got a wolf here, which is like a kind of big wild dog, and a wolf is very ravenous. It's always hungry. We have number 6, a lynx. A lynx is a kind of very big cat, and it's got very strong eyesight. It can see very far. We've got a fox with a long tail, and a fox is very, very crafty. That means it's very, very smart, right? And then we have number 8, a little hedgehog here, or porcupine. If it's in Africa, this would be a porcupine, but in England we only have hedgehogs. Number 8. And number 9, down here we have a badger. And the badger lives in holes in the ground, and it loves its holes. These are some wild animals.